What is the ultimate power move? Going to a restaurant, invading the kitchen, and cooking your own food, force feeding it to the head chef, and getting him to pay you for the meal. Geez, why don't you just go and live at his house and raise his kids while you're at it? And do his wife in case that wasn't assumed. Confidence and the ability to walk away. Whether it be in a relationship or a job, the ability to walk away, not care or not let a person of power lord anything over you, feels good. Grab someone's food off of their plate. Eat it in front of them, maintaining eye contact. Remember when Chris Christie got in that guy's face at ball game a few years back? Christie leaned over with a tray of nachos, and I wanted the guy seated to slowly grab one and eat one while maintaining eye contact. Becoming president of the United States just because Obama said you couldn't. Sadly, that is something he pulled off pretty well. Did he say he couldn't? I thought he said, if you think it's so easy, why don't you give it a try? It begged to differ then beg. But I already did. My begging was embedded into the colloquialism. Nah dude, this is one of those that sounds dope in your head, but just ends up being ridiculous cause 1 year not Thanos and 2 year actually taking someone's order at a Sonic drive-thru. I feel like I always say I beg to differ, so in that moment it's like they already are begging, so you can't really say then beg. Philip II of Macedon sent a message to Sparta reading, you are advised to submit without further delay, for if I bring my army on your land, I will destroy your farms, slay your people, and raze your city. Sparta's reply, if neither Philip nor his son Alexander the Great ever attack Sparta. If this ain't a power move, IDK what is? They didn't attack, because the Spartans were tactically insignificant, and descending into ruin all by themselves. The response itself was the point, not the reasoning. When you stop before the finish line on the last lap of Mario Kart, wait until someone is just behind you, then finish before them and still win. That's nothing. The real ultimate move is stopping before the finish line, doing a U-turn, and then reversing into the finish line to assert dominance. That is the true power move. I'm nothing compared to you. I'm going to do that next time I play MK8. Bro, this was my signature move again, anyone who played me. Is this the true power of Ultra Instinct? Makes you more powerful than Shaggy, yes. Like the meme is dead but still. Back in like grade 6, when you were doing those math multiplication sheets, rushing through it and aggressively flipping it over when you finish first. If someone is yawning, put your fingers in his mouth. I frickin' hate that so much. My chick does this. You're right, good one. My girlfriend used to do this. I laughed the first time. I said don't do that please the second time. I said next time, I will bite your finger the third time. The fourth time, I bit her finger, hard. I haven't apologized, and she hasn't done it since. Power moves on top of power moves. I don't know what's worse. The fact you had to bite her finger for her to stop, or the fact that I ordered to bite her finger for her to stop. You had to interrupt your yawn to bite down. I'm sorry for your loss of the full sensation of the yawn. That could have been. My cat used to do this. That's how you know it's a power move. No shame whatsoever. I often get into verbal fights with my friends and it always ends with you know reverse X4, no you or something along the lines of that. Power move confirmed. My store manager goes in for a high five, and then she grabs your hand and stares into your soul, while continuing to hold your hand for way too long. It's surreal. I'm only saying good job, because I'm obligated to. You are nothing to me. I hate it, and it is so awkward. When you're out with the boys, and you hold the door open for that one friend, and say ladies first, when you snap your fingers and it actually makes that perfect snap sound. When you overestimate your tax returns by 15%, and tell them to keep the change, when you don't declare income tax at all. If a child insults you, eat their parent in front of them, then eat the police when they show up. Continue eating everyone you encounter until either the military kills you, or the area is just you and the child. Not sure it's a power move, maybe a power utterance, but one of the all-time great boxers in history, Willie Pep, was once approached in a fancy restaurant by a guy who he had fought years earlier. The guy said something friendly and respectful to Pep, something about being an honor to have been in the ring with him and etc etc, and Pep says I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. Maybe you should lie down. Going down and unnecessarily head the ball into the goal during an open goal situation. Getting your so to call you daddy in front of their father. This is the ultimate power move in many ways. This is the ultimate power move. Well played. A well documented power move. Putting a lit candle on front of the Glade air freshener so it shoots fireballs across the room to enforce dominance. Interpreting positive intent deliberately. You spin it in a positive way when someone's trying to take shots at you. You think you can beat me? Me flips table. You can't win if you don't play. Well done. Unexpectedly paying for everyone's meal at a restaurant. The whole restaurant? Do you eat with Bill Gates often? Farting in a crowded elevator. Most powerful move ever. You have to remember to ask, does anyone else smell popcorn? Confidently not being embarrassed by what other people will think, and doing what makes you happy. Insult someone, they use reverse card, each reverse card, insult again. Inserting yourself into a random person's life as them, then gaslighting everyone into believing you're the original and the other person is the imposter. Letting yourself get to 1 HP and leaving you open and full and have the comeback of the century. Eating meat in front of a vegan while staring her down. Asserting dominance over humans and animals. Plugging in the USB the right way the first time. Taking everybody's drugs off the hood of the cop car and fleeing the scene. Grabbing the wheel of the bus and spinning it round and round into a school. Time manipulation. I came to this conclusion after watching Jojus. Triplets, then quads, into some furious double kick beats. Making eye contact with someone on public transport and maintaining it. When someone burps, so you have to burp 100 decibels louder. Blessing and thanking yourself after sneezing. Any act of sincere selflessness. Sitting in your wife's lap and farting. Using cool beans regularly in your vocabulary. Peeing in the urinal right next to someone. Anything that makes people cringe. Snapping your fingers in the infinity gauntlet. Left right up down AB. Farting on someone else's food. Puts hand on shoulder, hey I. Sending Nick Fury to voicemail. Plugging in a cord to an outlet.